Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. So our dream is a world free of poverty. I work by this sign every morning as I go to my office at the World Bank. It is very inspirational, isn't it? But as the World Bank Group President, Jim Kim, says, why does it have to be just a dream? So here I am today to tell you all, you working on FinTech, that perhaps we can make this dream a reality. And you're probably wondering how. Through technology, through the transformative power of technology to improve people's lives. For the next 10 minutes, I would like to take you through a journey which illustrates what technology can do for the financially excluded, for women entrepreneurs, for refugees, for farmers, for the poor, for those that live in slums. So as we go through this journey together, I would like to invite you to begin thinking about how you can contribute to this goal, how you can do your part. We have made enormous progress in reducing poverty. But still, about 800 million people live in extreme poverty. That means $1.90 a day, less than $1.90 a day. This is actually barely enough to cover the cost of bread for a family of 5. There are about 5 countries which account for about half of the people living in extreme poverty. And that includes Nigeria, Ethiopia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, India, and Bangladesh. These 5 countries also account for a quarter of the world's population. So it's a business opportunity. Most of the poor do not have access to financial services. About 1.7 billion of people do not have access to any transaction account, be it bank account or mobile account. The Universal Financial Access 2020, which the World Bank is leading with 34 of our global partners, is trying to reduce this and really make full financial inclusion for all adults by 2020. It's a very inspiring goal. But we need to make progress still, and the last mile has been the most challenging because we need to reach groups that are traditionally unbanked, hard to reach, women, the urban poor, and so on. So what does this mean? Giving aid to the poor is not going to lift them out of the poverty. The poor need to participate, work in the market economy. And this is going to be very difficult, if not impossible, if they cannot make simple financial transactions, if they cannot save regularly, if they don't have access to credit and insurance products. Things that are automatic to all of us, like taking money from an ATM or paying with our credit card for some goods, is not so simple for many. So I would like to give you 3 examples of transformative technology solutions tailored to specific needs. Because the good news is that technology can play a very important role in making finance inclusive, finance for all rather than finance for the few rich. So the first example I want to give is e-payment for refugees. Imagine this, a Syrian refugee. There are more than 4 million of them. In Jordan, our private arm, the IFC, partnered with the private company IrisGuard to provide e-payment solutions for refugees. Using iris scanning technology, refugees are able to take money from ATMs with the blink of an eye. Women can buy goods in stores using their eyes without worrying about security, about carrying cash. Just imagine refugees being able to make payments with just their eyes, taking money out of an ATM just using their eyes only, instead of working for hours in a queue. This has made an enormous difference. A father of twins told us that he was able to switch to a full-time job. A woman told us very proudly that she was able to become an entrepreneur. and sell handicrafts. It's really inspiring. My second example is about payment and credit services for women entrepreneurs. Women are half the population. They are the largest emerging economy. But yet they don't have the resources. They don't have the same opportunities. Women own businesses. The credit gap for them is $1.5 trillion annually, $1.5 billion annually. We see that very clearly in the story of Abiba. Abiba makes and sells injera. That's the Ethiopian bread. But she has no collateral, so she was not able to access individual loans. But Abiba got her first loan last year through a World Bank-supported program for women entrepreneurship development. Technology, in this case psychometric testing, was used to assess her payment capacity. She's a very strong entrepreneur, Abiba. She was able to use the loan to grow her business, as well as build a room for her at her workplace. She rents out that room now and is able to, for the first time in her life, have a savings account. This means a lot for her and for many like her, because if Abiba gets sick and doesn't make money for a day or two, she doesn't have money. She doesn't have sick pay like most of us do. So for many of the poor, it's very important because they are really subject to a lot of shocks, weather shocks, climate shocks, and so on. And the third example I want to give you is about livestock insurance. So take Barango. He's a farmer in Kenya. He's a livestock farmer. His livelihood and that of his family entirely depends on the well-being of his cattle. And livestock production is a major contributor to the Kenyan economy. It's about 12% of GDP. But it's also subject to climate shocks. Many of these farmers are exposed to severe drought about every 3 to 5 years, which has been increasing in intensity because of climate change. Between 2008 and 2011, the Kenyan economy suffered a loss of about $12 billion due to weather shocks. And 70% of this was from the livestock sector, really devastating farmers and their livelihoods. So together with Ministry of Agriculture and others, we at the World Bank launched a livestock insurance scheme called CLIP, Kenya Life Insurance Program, Livestock Insurance Program. The signature of CLIP is the use of satellite data and information about grazing conditions. And when those conditions go below a certain critical level, it disperses payments to farmers. That makes a huge difference because farmers like Barongo are able to keep their cattle alive by either buying feed ahead of time or moving their cattle to another location. So what that means is that not only they are able to keep their livelihood, but their dignity as well. So instead of paying for the loss of Barango's dead cattle, technology and insurance allows him to keep them alive and be living in dignity. It really, I find it very inspiring. Think about this for a second. So when you hear these examples, and I chose very extreme examples, the refugees, women entrepreneurs, those that are livestock farmers, I wonder if you have other ideas. I wonder if you can think about cool and innovative solutions to how to help urban workers, SMEs, which are really looking for credit, looking for opportunities, looking for ways to contribute to the economy. Hopefully you have many ideas we can work on together. So I'd like to leave you with 4 thoughts. For FinTech companies, tailor and customize your products so that you can also reach those that are underserved. Inclusive technology not only will help you make money, but also allow you to push backlash against technology serving only the rich. Policymakers, welcome and encourage FinTech because it will provide the enabling environment for many and change the lives and transform the lives of many. And investors, can think about the business opportunities and the impact that they will bring. And for all of us, and this is very important, because there is the good, bad, and ugly side of FinTech, just like any other financial services. And we have to make sure that we protect those that are the most vulnerable, so that they don't end up being indebted, and they don't end up being abused in terms of their data, discrimination, and many more. We at the World Bank have been doing our part, and will do much more. We recently launched the Bali FinTech Agenda during the annual meetings jointly with the IMF. These are elements for countries to consider when they harness the opportunity of FinTech, but also mitigate the risks. We will continue working with many of the developing economies to improve the enabling conditions for FinTech and create the markets for private sector participation. So I have taken you through a journey during this presentation, but our journey is not over. We still have to achieve our dream of a world free of poverty. And I think we can make that happen, but only together, through the use of technology and through the use of finance for all. Thank you.